347-1987. Put these people to work. But right now, I think it's time to have a little music. Let's get a little action, something going here with Airborne. It's all yours, gang.
1, 2, 3.
There's a girl in town, she's calling my name. She says I put her down, but I'm the one to blame. I left that girl standing there to cry, but I love that girl that's telling me a lie. She says I left and took her back my ring.
I don't remember a doggone thing.
Amnesia, 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 is what I do. I used to like to run around. My reputation was going down. I spent my money like it was out of style. But I love that girl that's telling me the lie. She says I left and took her back my ring.
Don't remember a doggone thing.
Amnesia. She wants me to come on home.
I wish that girl would leave me alone.
Amnesia, 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 tell me what I do. Amnesia, amnesia. All right. We're going to do a song by Mr. James Brown called Out of Sight.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
You got your higher figures on. You're into something new. You got your higher. All right. We're going to do a song by Mr. James Brown called Out of Sight. You got your high heel sneakers on. You're into something new. You got your high heel sneakers on, baby. You're into something new. In more than one way. You know you're out of sight. The way you do the thing you do. The way you kiss me too. The way you do the thing you do, mama, yeah. The way you kiss me too. More than one way. You know you're out of sight. You got a sweet disposition. You know your own way, yeah. Sweet, sweet disposition, mama. You know your own way. You do that. You know you're out of sight. Hit 'em, yeah. You got a sweet disposition. You know your own way. Sweet disposition, mama, yeah. You know your own way. In more than one way. You know you're out of sight. Ha, hit it, yeah.
Thank you very much. Let's buy some tickets. Hey, Wyatt.
Well, great music, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you enjoyed that. We'd like to just talk to you again, once again, about the phone numbers here in case you've forgotten. 347-1987, 525-1313. Now, our phones are, once again, quiet. It's the bad time of morning. I know you're sitting in the chair saying, oh, I'll call a little later on when I get up. We'd like you to call right now. We'd like to increase our total. We'd like to sell tickets. I want all my phones behind me to start ringing, and then I'm going to turn it over to John Badham. We've got the Regina Pat Hockey Club with us right now, and I've got Gary Dickey with me. Gary, have you been busy tonight?
Yeah, I've been getting a few phone calls.
What do they say? Are they happy about it or what?
Yeah, they are. They seem pretty excited about, they want to help the team out, and that's great.
And what about the Pats? How are they going to be next year?
Well, we got a lot of guys coming back, and we're looking for a better season than last year.
Gary, let's hope that phone of yours starts. I want Gary to get on that phone right now, and all the rest of the Pats here. The numbers again, 347-1987. Now, don't let me down. I want to have the numbers behind me. The phone's ringing, so I can give it over to John Badham, who's going to try and see what he can do about the row behind him. So right now, let's go. The numbers again, 347-1987 and 525-1313. John, I think most of mine are ringing, so you try over there.
We got those phones ringing, and we're getting calls from people. I have one here, and I want this lady to tell me all about it. Amazing, the people that do phone. You took a phone call, and what was the result?
It was a man from Creston, BC, and he donated $100.
From Creston, BC.
Creston, BC.
Fantastic. You see how easy it is from Creston, BC? Yes, let's hear it. Let's hear it, certainly. I want to mention, too, just want to mention that, you know, we're talking about the tickets, and perhaps you just not, maybe you just joined us. Maybe the party was a little late and you just got home. Various ways of buying tickets and participating in, as we've been telling you, the phone numbers, so let's tell you what you can buy. For example, we've talked about the season tickets. Really, that's the base. That's the lifeblood of a football team, of any professional or any organization. That season ticket. That season ticket guarantees you your seat. You've got that seat for the rest of the football season, and from all reports, this is going to be a very entertaining and exciting football season. There are other such things as what they call their 10-pack. There's a club membership that's available. There's all sorts of activities that can go along. As I said, the season tickets, you can buy the multiple packs, and of course, a single admission ticket. So that's what we need. That's what we need from you. And that's just one way you can do it. 347-1987. Let's, hey, we've got some phones out ringing. Here's two in front. There's one that's ringing. There one. Look at that. It's ringing. How about back here? Are the phones ringing? Gaynor, get those phones going. Put the hex on it. Dust it off. We need some action. We need it right now. I said season tickets, lifeblood of any organization, eh, Lloyd?
You know, your phones are starting to ring back there. I've got all the Pats except two guys answering the phone.
Look at that moth just came out. Must have come out of your wallet.
He's after you. No, I think it came out of Lancaster's wallet. He's still in the back there.
Well, we're going to carry on just as Gopher is doing his thing here, but we've got another player profile, a player we'd like you to meet on our program tonight. Time to meet Mike Anderson.
Pretty well started off when I was old enough to know what football was. My father played for the Roughriders back in the 50s, so saw a lot of pictures of him playing, and once I got old enough to get down here to the Roughrider games, it was a every weekend occurrence, more or less. I started off when I was pretty young, coming down here with a lot of my friends, and a couple times got photography passes to head down on the field, and I've got an old scrapbook of pictures. Kind of funny to look at some of these things now back in the grass field when Roger Aldag was just starting out in the league, and some of the old players, some of the coaches now. Mike Samples were my favorite pictures. The general manager sitting on the bench beside Mike Samples, so it dates back quite a few years, and there's some really neat pictures, some enjoyable times.
The Rough Riders, one of the reasons that you got interested in football yourself?
Definitely. There's always an influence through the family. As I said, my father played with the Rough Riders, so I had an influence through that. And then it carried on, and anybody that grows up and lives in Saskatchewan cheers to the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, and always just watching them. And I remember screaming and yelling and over many a games and watching it. And then I had an older brother that played a lot of football, and he'd always dreamed about playing for the Rough Riders, but got halted short because of some injuries. But it's, I think, for every young individual that plays football and enjoys football, and even if you don't play football, I think they watch and enjoy and love the game of football with the Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
Did your dad ever swap some old Rider stories around the dinner table when you were a youngster?
He's definitely had a few. They date back to quite a few of the old times when they had the reunion in '75. I got to see some of the faces of some of the stories that he told me, and he dates back quite a few years back when he used to coach our general manager, Bill Baker, on the Rams. So it goes back quite a long time, and like I said, the '75 reunion was a really nice time. I got to see a lot of the old people that I've heard he talk so many stories about, and a lot of the good times that he had back in the 50s when he played, and it's just kind of a family deal. It's a real close group, I think, throughout the whole province. I think it's just a real important thing for the people of Saskatchewan.
Okay, we're back here in Regina. Now, not all of us are going to be here on the set all night long, and as soon as we take a break in about an hour from now, John Lynch and Roger Currier are going to take over and are going to take you through the later wee hours of the morning.
Graveyard shift.
The graveyard shift. Okay, first of all, let me ask you, what's happening behind the scenes? You've been back there for a while, John. What's the
Lots
scoop?
of activity, lots of enthusiasm, lots of people watching. I'm surprised at the size of the crowd out there. People right up here in the second concourse at Taylor Field, very enthused about things and watching this whole show go on.
Okay, I'm going to give you a bit of a practice here for the next shift. Read those phone numbers.
347-1987 and 525-1313. And come on, Rough Rider fans, let's get those phones moving.
Okay, Roger, let's talk a bit about the Rough Rider opposition this year. You're watching in Winnipeg pretty closely. They beat them here pretty good last week. Which team do we see? The team that lost here or the team that beat BC?
Well, Cal Murphy, the general manager of the Blue Bombers, said, oh, well, there we are saving another franchise. It's good for the league, I suppose. But no, I think there's genuine excitement that the Rough Riders are going to be improved. And I think, you know, most people in Manitoba, which is where I'm from, except for 4 years I spent here with CKCK, would probably say the Saskatchewan Roughriders would be their #2 team if they had to have one. We've always been very partial. You wouldn't know that on Labor Day weekend, perhaps, but I think there's a lot of excitement and support for the Roughriders in Manitoba.
Okay, you had to come here from a fair distance. Tell me why you decided to get involved when the call came.
Well, it's, I suppose, the same reason everybody else. You feel sort of a part of the Rough Rider family. If you've lived here for any period of time, been involved in the media especially, because it is such a total community effort, it didn't seem to be any question in my mind that it would be a good idea.
I'm going to ask you a loaded question. Where are the best football fans? Saskatchewan or in Winnipeg?
Oh, I think Saskatchewan, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Give yourselves a clap. Okay. Okay, those numbers again, 347 1987 525 1313. John, you're on the telecast for 10 years. You were with the team through the Grey Cup. How do you look at this situation?
Well, I think it's a critical situation, Steve. There's no question about it. The 9 years of losing teams, the 10 consecutive years have actually turned the fans off. But people want a football team in this province. They're just disappointed, ticked off of what happened in the last 10 years. Some broken promises, some big disappointments when players, people like Homer Jordan, Joe Adams, quarterbacks who were supposed to lead us out of the wilderness just didn't do it. So a lot of fans are disappointed. But I think now with the turnaround, with Bill Baker becoming general manager, Tom Shepard, the president of the club, John Gregory coming in from Winnipeg, who appears to be a very thoroughly competent, disciplined coach who was used to winning under Cal Murphy. I think the attitude around Regina anyway is one of optimism, and I think the fans will come out and support this team just like they used to when they were winning. And I think if the team starts to win consecutively and consistently, there won't be enough seats in the park.
That'd be good to hear, and then we can look towards expansion.
That's right.
Anyway, we have a total of just over 30,000 seats already. We're looking for 100,000. The telethon will be on until 12 noon. Please ring those phones, 347-1987, 525-1313. Gentlemen, I'm not going to ask you to talk anymore because you're going to have to save your voices for the next shift, but thanks for coming out. Look forward to see you in the graveyard shift. Let's go over to Badham and see what he's doing.
I don't know. Excuse me, what are you doing? You're not...
I'm standing here, I'm visiting.
You're not supposed to visit, you're supposed to work.
I know, I'm trying to work now.
I saw a number out there. There's a guy wearing a sweater, 76.
There's a guy out there come running up, and he looks worse than I do. Where is he? Where is he? There he is. There he is. See him back there? See him down there? Look at him. Who's got a camera on here? Can you get a shot of him?
In the audience. There he is.
Have we got him? All right, there he is. The Undertaker. I don't know what that... The guy must work in a funeral home someplace. Or at least he used to. He almost fell off there. When did you buy that? How long ago? 11 years. I quit playing 11 years ago.
11 years ago, was it?
Oh, it was 9 years ago. Some say it was 12 or 13, John.
Well, I know. I didn't want to bring that up. Hey, look at these people here. Anxious to work, Bill, and the phones aren't ringing. I don't understand it. There must be a party or two still going in town. I mean, this is not the quietest neighborhood in the world, you know.
No, we've urged the kids who are out in the cars fooling around. It's time to get home and get on the phone, number one. We think there's a car crowd. We worked that through the radio a few minutes ago, and we urged all those kids to get home, make some phone calls, and buy something. And there must be the shift workers coming out pretty soon, or whatever. And I think we're now at 30,000. What are we? 30,600 last count?
Well, I know. Yeah, we're over 30.
We're close.
Over 30,600, and I have a feeling we're going to get a new total very soon. But
and we're getting a lot of grief. We got the Pat sitting up here fooling around. A bunch of other people fooling around. Everybody behind us ready to roll. The dream team are all talking to their boyfriends. I think they're on their phones. Who are you guys talking to?
check those.
Who are you talking to anyway? Who are you talking to? Somebody. Let's get them working. Let's not waste this valuable time. Let's get them all working. Call those numbers. And what are those numbers? The 347-1987, 525-1313. My voice is starting to go. 1313. Change of life. This happens. About 3 in the morning, you go through a change of life. So let's get calling the line. Let's get in. Let's get going. I want to get these people working. If they don't get a phone call in the next 2 or 3 minutes, every one of them, what are we going to do with them, John?
I don't know. I was afraid what you were going to say, but I just know that they want to work. I mean, they're here. I mean, why not? They've been, I don't know what they were doing all night, but they're ready to get on the phone.
That thought crossed my mind, but I couldn't back it up, so I couldn't say it.
Yeah. 347-1987-525-1313. I know Dick and Steve are sitting there smiling and discussing something or other. What is it?
Change of light, Bill. Change of lights. They changed the lights on it.
Change of lights.
Light. Don't worry about that. We have had some people calling in with some special pledges, if you will, so we're going to take each in turn here and read a few.
Okay, I'll start. William Harvey from Regina has donated 2 vouchers to the Youth Senior Bank, a donation of $40 and 2 vouchers. That is great. That's one way you can help if you don't really want to come and watch the football games.
And they one page each.
Okay, 1 page each. Tilly Koala from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, has donated $100 to the team. Thank you very much for that.
We have John's Ford Auto Sales from Lorbairn, and that's a 110 pack for $185. Challenges all Ford dealers. So repeat, all Ford dealers are now challenged by John's Ford Auto Sales. And Art Kurtz of Regina, 110 pack. So thank you very much. That's from Art.
Okay, Terry Ward in Regina has picked up 2 single ticket vouchers worth $40. Thank you for that. And Mossauer's Disc Sharpening in Moose Jaw has bought 1 10-pack ticket voucher, total of 10 tickets. And this guy is challenging all other disc sharpeners in Saskatchewan to do the same. I don't know how many disc sharpeners there be.
But they're challenged.
But they're challenged.
All right.
Get on the phone, you guys.
One of the favorite places I have to eat in Regina is the Keg South, 4371 Albert Street. They have picked up 3 season tickets, 9 games each for $495. Thank you very much. And the West Side Lower Deck challenges all of the restaurants in the city and in the province to do something about the Tickethon. So there you have it. And C. Goss of Portnell Avenue in Regina, he's a season ticket holder. He would like to challenge all other season ticket holders, here's a good one, to donate a 2nd season ticket to the Big Sisters. So there is an excellent idea. This was a pledge for 2 more season tickets for him at $330. And he challenges everybody else as a season ticket holder to buy 1 more for the Big Sisters. Great idea, that.
It is. Okay, Robert Sewinski of Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan, has picked up 1 single ticket and 1 10-pack, so he's picked up 11 tickets for $205. And Steve Teal from Regina has picked up a single ticket voucher, but also on the bottom of this, I'm not sure exactly what this is supposed to mean, but I guess he was on a losing team in a softball tournament.
Yeah, softball tournament, yeah.
He challenges any of the other losing teams to do better than him, and he picked up a ticket. So
those your
get on
buddies
the
from
phone.
the softball tournament at the intermission?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I had a lot of buddies that night.
I noticed that. Yes, I was down in Montreal. I noticed that. Here's one from Dale Holliday of Saskatoon, and he challenges all employees of the city of Saskatoon to buy at least 1 ticket. And Bob Bondak from North Battleford, 5 10-packs. So thank you very much. And his message is, tell Bill Baker I called. So we're telling Bill Baker that Bob Bondak of North Battleford has called. Thank you very much. 347-1987-525-1313. And as has been mentioned during the course of this Tickethon, there's a lot of work going on elsewhere around the province, the city, the province, by a group called the Riders Reps, and we have a bit of a story on that right now.
We all know the plight of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They either get fan support or they fold. That fact was confirmed by General Manager Bill Baker. The Riders, unlike other CFL teams, are in a unique situation. They have to draw fan support from the whole province. That's where the importance of Rider Reps comes into play. Hugh Vassis Jr. is the provincial Rider Rep chairman.
Without the Rider Rep organization and the way it functions, the Saskatchewan Roughriders would dearly miss the support from outside of outside of Regina especially. So the Rider Reps number over a couple of 100, and it's just important for us to coordinate their activities, and that's my position with the football club.
Vassis has confidence the Riders will not fold this year or any other year. He says Bill Baker is doing his best to give the fans an entertaining package on the field and he has been sincere to the fans since his hiring. But if the Riders want to remain in the CFL, there's no doubt this year's edition has to be competitive, and they can't give up on games as they've done in the past.
This type of activity just will not be tolerated, that the Riders will give their 110% at each game, and I think if the fans see that they may not win all the games, but if they're close and they're trying their best and they provide an exciting brand of football, there's no doubt about it, then the league, this team will survive in the league and they will be back next year.
It's not always an easy task for Rider reps to promote the Riders outside of Regina. People have to drive long distances to get to the games. But Rider fans have always had pride in their team, win or lose. Most also realize the Riders are Saskatchewan's only major sports franchise, and to lose them would be like losing a piece of Saskatchewan history.
Well, indeed it would. That was an excellent piece, so pay heed. Well, it is time again for some beauty to arrive on Tickethon. So the Dream Team, ladies, are you ready? Because we are ready with another total on the big tote board. Here they come, much appreciated by the boys in the back of the room here. For obvious reasons, the drum is rolling. You are all in place. Take it away. We've got an 8. Come on, let's hear it now. We've got an 8. And a 1. And a 4. And we have passed another plateau, if you will, 31,418. Thank you, ladies, very much. They have worked very hard, our Dream Team girls, and that is the total where we stand right now. A little behind, perhaps, what we thought it would be. We have until noontime to get it up where we want it to be. And it's up to you because you make it happen. And somebody just mentioned that a ticket, here's one now, not a bad gift for upcoming Father's Day. So remember that. That's not a bad idea at all. John and Bill are over there again at the telephones. Are you ready?
Whoa. We're just standing here talking about, what are we talking about?
The evolution of car sex.
Yeah. The evolution of car sex. Okay. That sounds pretty good.
No, we're not. Here's what we're going to talk about.
Now, here's what we're going to talk about.
We said something's got to happen. People aren't phoning for tickets. We're getting a little bored. So if you're home and you're watching, we don't expect you to buy anything. All we want you to do is phone in. And we want to see every phone here busy. We want the phones to light up and all these phones behind us, everybody talking to someone. And then we want you to do this. Then we want you to think of your best joke and tell the person you phone, the person you connect with, tell them your best joke. Now, that's not required. Even just a friendly hello would be nice. But do that. Call in and just say hello to people and do that. So everybody start calling in, say hello. I'm Joe from wherever, and God, it's a nice evening, and it's great to see you. And you all look so nice up there, and I thought I'd just call in and say hello. So let's get doing that. Let's call in and say hello. Here we go. Hello, how are you?
Say hello.
Earth to wherever. Hello.
I mean, it's very simple. We just want you to say hello. Call. If you'd also like to buy a couple of tickets. Listen, Bill, you know, it's no secret. We know that there have been people who've been season ticket holders, and for various reasons, and we don't have to go into them all, they have left the ball club and they've said no. Okay?
Yes.
And this has got to warm your heart a little bit. Here is from Shellbrook, Saskatchewan, Olive Pugh of Parkland Terrace, 88 years old, a former season ticket holder, has come back into the fold and has bought tickets.
She donated $50. And you know, I've had several of these. I had a fellow call me or send me a letter here about a month ago, Ted Ernest in my office, and he sent $500 in. And I phoned the fellow up, and we had a very nice talk, and he just decided he wanted to contribute $500. And this was before we made the big announcement. We've had several thousands of dollars, John, in the past 2 or 3 months offered to us by people like this. And a lot of them are, not a lot, all of them pretty well, 99% of them are all older fans who have trouble going to the game or whatever.
They're saying hi back.
Are we all calling in and saying hello? Is it? We still have some phones available. Keep calling in and saying hello. Say hello. My name is. There's some great-looking ladies up here, some good-looking guys. If you want, you can even talk to John and me, right, John? We'll talk.
Yeah, I want you on that same subject of donations. I've got one here for $100. Dr. Laurie just donated $100. How about this one? Now this is great, eh? Here is M. McDonald from Kenora.
Kenora.
Kenora, and 10 a 10-pack ticket.
Yes.
Or a 10-pack is what it's called.
10-pack of vouchers, and what he's done is
$185.
Yes, and I think what he's doing, I can't read it clearly. I think what the transcription says that he's the Lions Club president. I think that's what it says.
So he's probably gotten that through the Lions Club.
I think that's what it sounds like.
But you know what? That's a heck of an idea. If every, if every organization, service club around the province just said, wouldn't it be great? Hey, tap the coffers at the next meeting on Tuesday night. Put an extra buck in the kitty and let's buy a 10-pack or a couple of others, and then let's all go down to the game on one evening. If every community, I don't know, well, we've got, I don't know how many hundred organizations. There's Kiwanis and Kinsman and Lions clubs.
Well, we
and
had the one group walked tonight, and they brought in $700 almost.
That's incredible.
And if that would happen, I'm not sure who's still up doing that kind of stuff. If that happened tonight, it'd be a great way to keep this night rolling, wouldn't it? Have a club president, phone a couple of people or whatever, and just send whatever we can into this organization.
347-1987.
Hello.
You want it on the phone, Bill? Everybody wants to talk to you. Here's your phone ringing.
How are you?
Just a reminder, as Bill says, hey, if you don't want to buy anything, just phone up and say hello. Let's put these people to work. They're anxious to talk to somebody. Oh, I was going to say your phone is, you're on here phone. What else have we got here? We've got the phones going. Your phone isn't ringing. Saskatoon just called in. Oh, another one? Look at that. Not only are they calling in and saying hello and telling a joke or two, but they're also buying a few tickets. Everybody wants to talk to the Undertaker this morning. I don't know what that means. 347-1987. While Baker's on the phone, I'm going to take a breather and say, Dick,
we are over here, and in just a minute or two, we're going to meet one of the fine young football players playing with the Riders. Steve, you're too young to remember this, but we're a bit of a nostalgia kick whenever you come back to me. I want to tell a story, too, that has always illustrated to me the spirit in this city. It was Thanksgiving Day, 1947, and it's when they used to call the Park the Young, and there was only dirt. There was no grass. It was just dirt, and they put the chalk lines for the football, and we had about 5 days of rain. So Thanksgiving morning, they finally ruled, they were to play the Winnipeg Blue Bombers here on that day, and they finally ruled the field totally unplayable for a football game. What do? The Bombers were in town. They weren't going to go home and not play the football game. So they decided to play it at Campion College. And they announced that they would play the game at Campion College. So out they went, and I remember I took the White Line streetcar out to Campion College, and people lined up along the side, and they played a Canadian Football League game. They got the game in, and they played it then, and it was the next year that I think that they got Taylor Field in a little better shape, and I think that's the next year is when the white and green came along. Anyway, I always remember that day going out on the streetcar to see a CFL game at Campion College. I don't know if anybody out there at this time of the morning remembers that particular day, but I do, and I remember it very well. Some good young football players on the team this year.
There's been a big turnover. I think the coaching staff has done just a heck of a job going out there to the free agent camps, beating the bushes, talking with hundreds of kids, looking at them, testing them, and then bringing just cream of the crop to camp. The big problem that Coach Gregory has this year is that he's got too many good players. He's got about 60 kids still in camp. He can only have 34 or so. He doesn't know what to do because he's got 7 or 8 wide receivers that are doing quite well. He's got a number of backs who are doing well. He's got a great veteran offensive line, plus some people coming up who could step right in and you wouldn't even know the difference. So they have the luxury this year of, I think, of doing great things. They have quarterbacking that's unbelievable as far as the first game is concerned. And I think against Calgary on Monday we'll see exactly what these people are made up. Jeff Bentram, the young guy that they brought in to slowly bring along, seems to be coming to the top. And they're saying, hey, if this kid's going to do it, then we'll let him play. So things are looking so good right now that the other 2 years that I have been here in Saskatchewan, this is the biggest one. This is the best year.
As Ronnie Lancaster pointed out, chatting with me a little while ago, don't forget this is a very tough conference out here, and it's a little bit tougher league perhaps all around this year. So they have their work cut out for them. Well, we mentioned about the good young players that everybody will like to see, certainly, when they come out to see the Riders play here at Taylor Field. Terry Cochran is a perfect example. Let's meet him right now.
Well, when I grew up, one of my best friends when I was young was Ron Lancaster Jr. So we played football together. So just being around their household and going to games with him to begin with, sitting in end zone seats, and we slowly moved away up to the 50-yard line. So been around there for quite a while and really enjoyed it.
When you were practicing at Old Campbell Collegiate there, did you ever sort of think about wearing a green and white uniform?
Yeah, I thought it would come across my mind. I always, basically, I just wanted a shot, just a chance to try out, and if I made it, great. If not, that's okay, and I get a chance here at the Riders now, so I'm going to do the best.
So was Ron Lancaster your hero, being that you hung around with Junior?
Yeah, he was. He just growing up with him and George Reed and just watching those guys play, and they're fantastic players together, and the whole team was great back then, and hopefully the team will get back like that again.
Is there something special for you to be playing for Saskatchewan? I mean, you've been in Calgary's camp and playing out of UBC. How do you feel being back in Regina with the Rough Riders?
Well, like, this is my home, and this is where I want to play, and just really looking forward to it. And the Riders, they mean a lot to me, and I imagine a lot of people in the province of Saskatchewan, so I'd love to play for them.
You had a pretty good outing against in your first exhibition game against Winnipeg. Terry, how do you feel about yourself so far here?
Things are going okay. I just have to keep my head in there all the time, get in the playbook, and got to be mentally aware as well as physically aware at all times. So just go.
Get a call, get your call in now. Don't wait till first thing in the morning. Try and make your call right now if you possibly can, if you're still up. The numbers are 347-1987, 525-1313. I'll give you the numbers again, 347-1987 and 525-1313. So come down and watch the Rough Riders. I think you're really going to enjoy yourselves. And by golly, I think we're going to have a good football season here. No question about that. We're going to leave Regina right now, go up to Saskatoon. Rob and Kim are standing by up there.
Thanks, Lloyd, and good morning to everyone from Saskatoon. Morning now. I was saying good evening at the earlier part of
definitely
this.
Morning, Kim. We're getting well into the morning.
And what a morning it has been, too. Lots of support from Saskatoon and area and lots of support from the entire province.
And we need more. Keep those phones ringing all night through the movie and well into tomorrow morning, into noon tomorrow. Jack Sennon's going to be here in the morning.
That's right. We could probably go about another 8 or 9 hours on our own, but Jack Sennon from Prince Albert will be here tomorrow morning with lots of different entertainment, exciting entertainment at that. Any comment? No. Okay. Phone in.
Sharon Mills.
Sharon
Hills is standing by. I'm sorry, Sharon. She's standing by for a couple of numbers, and let's go to her.
That's right.
Well done, Richard. Hey.
Look at all these husky, handsome young hockey players here. As soon as they come on camera, the phones ring. See that? These guys are talking. Now we've got bench number 2 up here, whatever we want to call it, all the way along here. In fact, the people up here are better looking than the hockey players. You know that? Like, right here.
What did you just tell me a minute ago? You said you realize it's 5 o'clock in Ottawa.
We're not supposed to think that way. We said before we started we weren't going to think what it is back home, but it's 5 o'clock in the morning. That's what it is.
Oh, I thought you said afternoon.
No, not quite.
We want these phones to keep on ringing, though, because we've got lots of time. I guess we're down to... we're talking hours now, eh, Dick?
Yeah, that's right. 3 o'clock. It's, what's that, 9 hours to go?
9 hours to go.
Yeah.
By golly, any of your old running mates from Saskatoon phone down here yet?
Well, I think there's been a fair amount, John. And don't forget, we got that $1,295 from Don Campbell and the guys from Watrous, you know, for the auto dealers. Pretty good. You know, Dick was talking about the hockey players here. I don't think Gary Dickey will ever forgive me because I mentioned his name earlier and the phone hasn't stopped ringing for this young guy here. Dickey, you owe me something for those phone calls.
You're making this get an all-star.
We are about to, the group of 4 here that you see are about to end and pass the torch here that we have been holding, but it's been a good early morning for all of us, I think, Steve, and we're coming back.
That's right. We'll be back early, about 9 o'clock or so, and we'll be here right till the end at noon. So we'll have a couple hours shut-eye, and then we'll be back hard at it again.
And the numbers will not change between now and then. 347-1987, 525-1313. We have the bullpen here. Can they get in the door to come in and
where are those relief pitchers? John Lynch.
Where are they?
Where's Mr. Currier? Come on in here, guys. I got this one, Big John. It's all yours.
Thank you very much, John. You did a great job.
I talked earlier about a Labor Day game in 1966 when the Riders beat the Alouettes 44-zip, and John was working with me in the booth as a statistician. He remembered it, and I remembered it. And,
it was a great game for the Riders.
It was a
44-0.
Great game, period. Anyway, fellas, you've got plenty of people out there that are watching, and you know the numbers we want them to call. Some great people here who want to work, so have some fun.
Okay, Dick, thank you very much. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you, Dick.
Those numbers are, again, 347-1987 and 525-1313. And let's get these phones ringing back here. We've got 2 rows of people doing absolutely nothing. How about that, eh? Come on, let's get those phones ringing. With me right now, as my co-host, is a gentleman from Winnipeg, and it is not Chris Walby. This is Roger Currier, who I worked with when we were both working on CKCK football games together, and we had, I think, one memorable occasion out in Vancouver, Roger.
Empire Stadium, where they no longer play the game. It was a preseason game of about 1978.
And Al Ford and I were working on it. You were the statistician,
I was
right?
doing stats and hosting your halftime show.
And I think we had a memorable incident, didn't we, there?
Well, I can recall in Empire Stadium in those days they used a cannon that they sounded after touchdowns, and the Lions scored a touchdown, and you thought it was the gun ending the first half, and signed off the broadcast, and we had to come back and resurrect it. It was a memorable night.
We're having a great time out here tonight. I think what we're offering are fantastic value for the fans, Raj.
Well,
want to go over it?
Certainly are. Let's talk a bit about the 10-pack. 10 vouchers for $185. You can use all 10 at once, or spread them out over 5 games or 6 games or whatever. Use one at a time. It's just a heck of an idea. I think
Super
it's
idea.
Something that's perhaps long overdue. Season tickets, 9 games remaining for $165. Single game vouchers, of course, for $20. They have a terrific deal for university and high school students. 9-pack university is $75 and high school for $50. So there's all kinds of options. All you got to do is ring those phone numbers.
Okay, let's get those phones ringing. These gals in the back row here, the back 2 rows are doing nothing. Come on, guys. Let's get these phones ringing. 347-1987, 525-1313. And let's just take a look here at some of the donations we've got. Here's a really an outstanding one, Raj. Chris Chamberlain, a young boy, 11 years old, donating $5.
Right, lots of challenges going on, of course. Robbie Defnomia would like to challenge all workers at World Gym, 9th Avenue in Regina. We had a $100 donation called in by Brant Lannon of Watrous, Saskatchewan. Some more on your list?
Humboldt Electric would like to challenge other electrical companies in the area. That's Humboldt Electric in Saskatoon. We have Canadian Tire with 14 vouchers totaling $280. And I think you've got some more there.
Well, the Kinsmen in Tisdale, good old Tisdale, the land of rape and honey, challenged all other Kinsmen clubs to match their effort at phoning in pledges.
Bruce Holmes at Suite 11, 88 Angus Street, took 12 tickets for a total of $225. Thanks very much, Bruce Holmes. Bob Rittinger, 406 Hull Crescent in Saskatoon. He took 6 tickets for a total of $120. So let's keep those phones ringing now. People are finding it very quiet here.
Sinclair Clark of Carlisle, Saskatchewan, a $100 cash donation. And yes, cash, of course, is as good as anything in this situation. Gordon Wilson and Sterling Wilson of Carysdale, Saskatchewan, a $100 cash donation.
Come on, Saskatchewan, let's get these phones ringing. These VIP seats up in front of me right here, nobody answering the phones. They're not ringing at all. Back in here behind us, only a couple of people answering the phones. Let's ring those phones. Now's the time to do it.
Visa or MasterCard, of course, are acceptable, and cash, as we mentioned.
And a reminder, at 3:30, we're going to have a movie here, Raj.
The Longest Yard, Burt Reynolds, 1974. It's quite a good film, actually.
He's got hair then.
He had mostly his own hair in those days. Plays a pro ball player who ends up in prison and organizes a prisoners team to play the guards. And one of the guards is Ray Nitschke, the great middle linebacker for the Green Bay Packers for many years.
That'll be fun. Raj is an expert in the movie field, in case people are not aware of that. Right now, let's take a look at a personal view with Geoff Courier from CKRM Regina.
Currier. You know, the Saskatchewan Roughriders need to survive, and I'll tell you why. If they don't, we might not have a premier of Saskatchewan in the year 2040. If the Roughriders go under, if they disappear, so will the jobs of all the young players. Many bright and promising young men will be thrown right out of work. If they don't have jobs, how are they going to afford to have children? If you don't have work, children are out of the question. And if you don't have children, you don't have a future. If they aren't allowed to have families, just think of all the future great people we might not have in Saskatchewan. In fact, one might even invent a cure for cancer. One might invent, say, stockings that don't run, or car window defrosters that actually work on the driver's side, or any of the other great things that need to be done. Now, supposing one of these children was to grow up to be a politician. Grow up to be a politician, get elected leader of the party. Get elected leader of the party, then premier. Imagine the child of a former Rough Rider, premier. So now the Rough Riders are out of business. The players can't afford to have families because they're out of work. Now we don't have a premier in the year 2040. So what do? Run the place without a boss? No decisions made? You don't know. Maybe the kid could grow up and raise grain prices and lower taxes. Might even go on to be prime minister and end all wars and hunger. But he can't do that because he was never born. Because the Rough Riders couldn't afford to have families. Because you didn't buy tickets. Imagine, no premier in 2040. Now, you don't want that in your conscience, do you? So get out, buy some tickets, make sure we have both Rough Riders and a premier in 2040.
Thank you, Geoff Courier. And once again, those phone numbers, 347-1987, 1987. That's easy enough to remember, 525-1313. And Disc Jockey Music Services is indicated if announced on the air, they would buy 2 season tickets. So there you are. We're announcing it on the air. Disc Jockey Music Services buying 2 season tickets. Let's see now. Terry Ferguson of Marcus Crescent in Yorkton has accepted the Notre Dame Challenge, buying a 10-pack and 1 active membership. That's a total pledge of $215. Lots of phones that need to be rung. Standing behind me here particularly. Got 2 rows of phones with very little activity going on. So let's hear from you now at 347-1987, 525-1313. John, over to you.
One of my favorite people with me right now, Sandy Monteith, the Flame. And we've known each other for several years. Sandy's been through lots of ups and downs with the Rough Riders. Sandy, can you just tell us how you got started?
I was going to a lot of away games since about 1976, and we were dressing up in kind of wacky costumes, and one thing led to another, and pretty soon I was putting flames on top of my head.
And you lit the flame every time the Riders scored a point or just a touchdown?
Every time they scored a touchdown, but some years we had to resort to points.
Okay, now you've had troubles with the stadium here. Sometimes you've been allowed to be in Taylor Field. Sometimes you've had to be in a crane across from Taylor Field. Now you're back into Taylor Field. Can you just tell us what happened there?
I had some problems in the past, but that's in the past. Right now I'm in the field. I'm inside the park, in the end zone, where I'd like to be, where I'm happy. thanks to the new management, and we're going to have lots of firings. We got some new routines coming up this year, and we're going to make it a pyrotechnic display in the end zone this year.
All right, now how about the away games?
I'll be going to a few away games as well, and doing it in most of the parks, except for BC Place, of course.
Now, you've got an awful lot of recognition. ESPN had you on as one of the wackiest cheerleaders in sports. I think you've even been in Bob Uecker's Wacky World of Sports show, have you not?
Yeah, I was on a little film clip he had on crazy and goofy things on sports.
How about the Roughriders for 1987? Now, I feel there's a different era about to begin, but you've heard me say that before. Sometimes you've laughed at me, but I really believe it this time. Sandy, how about you?
I agree wholeheartedly with you. I was talking to a lot of people on the street this last couple of weeks, and there's a lot of positive attitude there. I feel it in the coaching staff and the players, and I firmly believe that we're going to be in the playoffs this year, and if once we make that playoff spot, then anything can happen.
I think the fans will come back. I know you and I remarked on the road trips that when the team was winning or looked like they were going to win, there was lots of fans traveling with us on the road, but that decreased, of course, as the bad years came up on us. But I think that'll turn around this year.
I do, too. If the team is competitive on the field, this park will have, maybe not the first couple of games, but this park will have 25,000, 30,000 fans. So what we need right now is everybody to get those phones ringing, and let's get 100,000. Let's get 120,000 up there on that ticket board.
Are the Saskatchewan fans going to rally tonight and sell this park out by selling 120,000 tickets? Do you think they will?
I firmly believe in them. Just from the talk I've had on the street, people are behind them. They just want to see some product on the field, and they just want to see a game, win or lose.
Sandy, I hope you have a very active season this year. And now let's go back to Roger Currie.
Thank you. Bill Baker with me. Mentioned, first of all, The Longest Yard coming up at 3:30 with Burt Reynolds. It's a pretty good film. I think you'll quite enjoy it. It'll give us a little change of pace here. 31,418, Bill. We've got a new total coming up in about 10 minutes. What is your feeling so far? Is the message getting out there, do you think?
Oh, I think it is. And you know, at this point, I think we're going to finish with a real strong finish in the morning. It'll be a success. No question about that. If we can double this amount, that's a real success. And a lot of credit will go to the people that organized this event. I'll be a little disappointed, but it'll still be a great victory.
If you come close, are we still sort of in the ballpark? Like, can we get 80 or 90, something like that?
Well, you know, if we got 70 or 80, we started off at 12,750. If we could end this show at noon tomorrow with around the 20,000 sold, that'd be a heck of a start for 1987. It'll still be up to the team to perform, and still be up to the team to put on a competitive product, which will bring the fans back. And we always knew, no matter what else, that had to happen. So it'll just depend then on what people do. Because at that level, if we have that much, if we have 20,000 on the average, we will still be in difficult shape late in the fall or late in the summer. And it depends on the lottery and a whole bunch of things. And I'm getting tired of being whiny about it. I feel kind of, the topic to me is distasteful because we're talking about, you know, always negatives and always this and always that. And I'll be very glad to get through this year. If we do get through it, you know, you've got to have faith we will get through it, and next year approach it as a normal year with a team which is competitive. We're not in the hole. We're not in debt. We can hold our heads up, and we can do things a bit differently.
Well, I think it's far too early to talk about falling short at all. There's lots of time left and lots of phones that need to be rung here with pledges. 347-1987 and 525-1313. Call us in. Cash we accept. Visa or MasterCard.
Let's get some more of those calls in. You know, we kind of had fun about a half an hour ago. We said, let's call in with jokes. Let's call in and talk to our people. We're all getting here. We got a bunch of great-looking guys sitting here. Any of you young ladies at home who want to talk to Regina Pat, now is your chance. And
did we get any good jokes?
We got a few. We can tell so far. We got some good jokes, so please call them in. If you're a young lady at home, call into the guys. If you want to talk to one of our great girls behind us, please call in. Let's have a flurry of activity in these phones before we go to the movie at 3:30. So please, if you're out there watching, call in. Just call in and say hello. You don't have to buy a ticket. Just call in and say hi to us. Tell us a joke. Tell us a story. Say something nice. Tell us you're enjoying the show, whatever. Call in. Some of those guys aren't very good looking. The ones that are showing TV right now, I wouldn't call those guys. Now, that's a better view, isn't it?
Indeed. We have a new total coming up in just a few moments. At this time, I think we're going to have a video feature on the world's greatest fan. Let's look at that right now.
I've been coming back to the rider camps, taking my holidays, coming back for about since '73, except for I missed one camp.
Since '73 then, so you've been at the rider camps all through this drought, not making the playoffs. Is it tough to keep coming back after?
Yeah, I think last year's the first year. Like there's quite a group of Saskatchewan people, ex-Saskatchewan people living in and around Vancouver, and some in White Rock, and we're pretty staunch rider fans. But each year it gets a little less enthusiasm, I think. And last year's the first year in September that I felt almost like giving up. And I feel since in the last 6 months since Baker's taken over, I felt there's been more done in 6 months than the last 6 years. And so I'm back again because I'm all hepped up again.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people are. What have you seen in this camp that you like so far?
Well, first of all, there's sort of a quiet confidence that I like. I think it's the coaching. I think it's the players seem more involved. I hear no grumbling. I've heard that a lot of them had to take pay cuts and whatnot, but I don't hear any grumbling. They all seem very enthusiastic, working hard, and it's exciting. I find it really exciting.
Well, there's lots of stories similar to that as far as fans of the Saskatchewan Roughriders are concerned. I think it's generally acknowledged the Saskatchewan Roughriders have the most amazing fans in all of Canada, probably in all of professional football, and that's only one of the stories as far as that's concerned. John?
Okay, thanks very much, Raj. I'm going to talk here with Judy from the Royal Bank. Judy, how long have you been here?
It's 2 o'clock.
How many phone calls have you had?
2.
You heard it right from the horse's mouth. Let's get these phones ringing. A lot of people want to talk to Judy. Let's get these phones ringing. We got our front row, 2 people answering phones, 2 people back. Judy's got her 3rd phone call. How about that, eh? And they want to talk to Bill Baker, who's standing right here. Well, let's get these phones ringing. The numbers again, 347-1987 and 525-1313. Really, we've said it before. We've said it again, Raj. A phone call means a vote for football in Saskatchewan. No phone calls mean you don't care about football in Saskatchewan. And I know the people of this province as a whole care about football. So let's get on these phones. So it's 3:15 in the morning. Who cares? It's a special occasion.
Right. Mention again the longest yard coming up in about 12 or 13 minutes now, and a new total before that. We won't be going, despite the fact we're going to a movie, we won't be shutting things down by any means. There won't be any commercials in the movie. We'll be cutting back here frequently and bringing you up to date and getting those phones ringing, hopefully, as we move along.
Okay, let's get these phones ringing now. Come on. 347-1987 and 525-1313. And you can use Visa, MasterCard. What's happening back here? Judy, did you get your 3rd phone call? Yes, thank you. Here, there goes Judy with her 4th phone call. How about you right here? What's your name?
D.
How many phone calls have you had, D?
3.
3 in 15 minutes?
No, in 2 hours.
3 in 2 hours. That's ridiculous. Come on, let's get D answering the phone. Let's ring D's phone. And everybody else along here. Come on, Saskatchewan. We got Don Borger back there laughing like he usually does. He doesn't know how to answer a phone. Raj, let's get this activity going here. Let's
That's
Saskatchewan, not let the Rough Riders down.
Mention again those packages we're talking about, a 10-pack, 10 vouchers for $185. Could be used all at once or spread over several games, 1 per game, however way you want to work it. Season ticket, the remaining 9 games for 1987, $165. Single game voucher, $20. And some terrific deals for university and high school students. For university students, $75. For high school students, $50. And Father's Day.
Father's Day.
1 week from today.
Super
Now
Father's Day
there's
gift.
the greatest
Super
gift
Father's
idea
Day
you could come
gift.
up with.
You know, we talk about how unique this Saskatchewan Rough Rider football team is and projects like this. How would this go over in Winnipeg? Would the Bombers ever do something like this, and would it be successful?
Well, it's hard to speculate because we've never been up against, Winnipeg has never been up against the wall quite like this. I suspect, although similar efforts I think were undertaken on behalf of the Winnipeg Jets when they moved from the World Hockey Association to the NHL.
But I think this is something unique to Saskatchewan, this type of...
no question about it. No question about it.
Okay, let's get these phones ringing. We got the girls back here getting busier. Come on, Saskatchewan. Let's show some pride. Let's ring those phones. Ring those phones. Don't let these girls down. People here are doing nothing. 347-1987 and 525-1313, and you can use Visa or MasterCard.
31,418 is the total we're looking at right now. We're going to have a new one momentarily, and they're just changing the numbers as we speak.
And we're looking at a total of probably over 100,000. We hope by noon today, Sunday morning right now, of course, we hope by, in 7 more hours, we have a total of close to 100,000, maybe more, Roger. And I think there's every reason to believe we'll get that total.
How far back do you go as far as this ballpark is concerned? When did you see your first game here,
1948.
1948.
Calgary Stampeders and the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the Western Final, and it was a 4-all tie.
Oh, true. And touchdown in those days was only worth 5 points.
That's right. 40 years.
That sends it back a long way.
40 years of Saskatchewan football, but they've always worn the green and white.
There's an interesting story behind that as well. The green and white was not of any particular significance. Wasn't it somebody who was a clothing dealer who came up with a good deal on uniforms?
Went to Chicago in 47. Claire Warner went to Chicago in 47, and he just happened to get a good deal in green and white uniforms, and that's the reason the Rough Riders changed from black and red to green and white.
And of course, green and white are really the official colors of the entire province. On the license plates, everywhere.
That's correct.
The green and white is Saskatchewan.
That's correct. Okay, let's get these phones ringing.
347-1987, 525-1313.
We have lots of people here doing nothing, just sitting here. They've been sitting here for a long time. Come on, Saskatchewan, let's get these phones going. 347-1987 and 525-1313. Let's show it can be done. We've got a big task ahead of us.
What would have been
We've got to get it rolling.
What would have been the capacity of the field in 1948? About
6,000.
6,000. Squeezable to about 9.
We had 8,000 for the Western Final in 1949, and that was standing room only.
Yeah, that was the year Calgary went through the league undefeated.
1948 was.
48, yes.
49, they had one loss.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan beat them 9-6 during the regular season.
Gosh.
Goes away a
You're
long
older
ways
than you
back.
look, John. Yeah.
Okay, we're almost set for another total, and as we said before, at 3:30 we'll be having a movie, The Longest Yard. Raj, you recommended the movie very much with...
very entertaining picture, and it did very well. It was made in 1974. Burt Reynolds, Eddie Albert. We got some new information.
Guys?
Okay,
ahead,
sounds
Bill.
good, Bill.
Here we go. We got a challenge. We got Gary Finson of SAS Power to all SAS Power employees to buy 1 ticket voucher each.
We had 8,000 for the Western Final in 1949, and that was standing room only.
Yeah, that was the year Calgary went through the league undefeated.
1948 was.
48, yes.
49, they had one loss.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan beat them 9-6 during the regular season.
Gosh.
Goes away a
You're
long
older
ways
than you
back.
look, John. Yeah.
Okay, we're almost set for another total, and as we said before, at 3:30 we'll be having a movie, The Longest Yard. Raj, you recommended the movie very much with...
very entertaining picture, and it did very well. It was made in 1974. Burt Reynolds, Eddie Albert. We got some new information.
Guys?
Okay,
ahead,
sounds
Bill.
good, Bill.
Here we go. We got a challenge. We got Gary Finson of SAS Power to all SAS Power employees to buy 1 ticket voucher each. Okay, and Gary has gone ahead and he's bought 2 tickets and 1 membership by Gary. So SAS Power, if you're out there, people take the challenge. Now what's this one? Check coming. Thanks, Tilly. That doesn't do anything.
Checks in the mail.
Checks in the mail. Thanks, Tilly. Here's a challenge. Here's David. I think it's Faulds, Faulds, and challenge the guys at Midwest Motors Used Car Department. David's gone ahead and he's bought 5 single ticket vouchers. He's got $100 and he paid cash, so he did it. All right, what else we got?
This is a dandy one here, eh?
All right, here's a dandy one. Challenge to, here we go. This is the Army and Navy Vets, number 18 on Broad Street. And he has issued a challenge to all Army and Navy vets.
And he bought 4 tickets for $660.
And he bought 4 season tickets.
4 season tickets,
Four
right.
season tickets. All right, we got his money. We got him. All right, what's this one, John? We got Paul Kuntz, Hudson Bay Lions Club.
46 tickets for
40
$960, Bill.
6
That's going to
singles.
make you happy.
That's great. That's a great buy. And the next one, here we go. And here he wants box tickets. And this person, this is Janice
Saucier.
from Saskatoon, and she has donated $1,000 and she wants tickets purchased, and she wants me to handle it, and I'll make sure I handle that. That's a nice one.
Yes, sir. It sure
And here
is.
we have a donation by Keith. How do you pronounce that, John? Konosinski?
Keith Konosinski, yep.
Okay, and for Moose Jaw, and a donation of $125. Thank you, Keith. It's very nice. And here we go. Another $25 donation by John Lewis from Nokomis. Thank you, John. And here, what's this? This one is from Bob Fleming, $50 donation. And he says, tell Fred Fleming that Bob's donated will bring money order in on Monday. I guess those guys are relatives, I would hope. Maybe they're brothers or lovers. You never know about Fred. It could be any kind of relationship. We're never quite sure what it could be. It could be anything. All right, and now we go to Kim Harass, and he is challenging all helicopter pilots.
That's different, eh?
Any helicopter pilots in the room? Okay, nobody so far. Let's go for it, though. And here we go. This is a good one. This is the kind we like to see. Here we have two 10-pack. Keep talking. Two 10-packs, and we have a Tisdale Kinsman Club have bought two 10-packs, and the guy who bought that is Glenn Gillis.
Lots of activity. Let's keep these phones ringing, Saskatchewan.
All right, and we're ready to update you as far as the total is concerned. Bring up the girls. All right. 0, 0, 0, 2, 3, 32,000.
Well, that's fantastic, Saskatchewan. 32,000. 32,000 single game tickets sold so far. We're going for 100,000. We want to sell out Taylor Field, 100,000 plus. And we're well on our way. Let's keep it up, Saskatchewan. Let's keep these phones ringing. Those numbers again, 347-1987 and 525-1313.
This is the hard time, the tough time when you and I are
In tough
involved.
times, Saskatchewan people come through, as we've said before. So let's keep these phones ringing.
All right, and we're just about to go away and watch, or start watching The Longest Yard with Burt Reynolds. A football picture, and a good one. Ray Nitschke and other ex-football players are featured in it. A good action picture and lots of humor. Eddie Albert plays a real nasty.
And it's commercial-free, fans.
Commercial-free, but we will be coming back here frequently to update you on that total and to keep those phones ringing.
Keep the phones ringing. We've got lots of people here on the phones. Let's keep them busy. Let's keep them busy, Saskatchewan, when this movie's on.
All right. The Longest Yard. We'll go there, and we'll be back very soon. Thank you so much.
As the sun comes up in Taylor Field, it's the start of the Sunday, June the 14th. And right now we've sold, well, we got a new total here. Gaynor's putting up a new total for us here at Taylor Field. A beautiful Sunday morning. Okay, Gaynor, let's see it. What is our total? 3. 2. 9. 5. 32952. 32,952 single game vouchers have been sold. So we have something like 68,000 more to go before our job will be completed here at Taylor Field. Let's get those phones ringing. The numbers again, 347-1987, 525-1313. You're right, ring those phones. 347-1987, 525-1313, and you can use your Visa or MasterCard. All right, now let's go to Saskatoon. We have a couple of prizes here for Saskatoon people. Anybody in Saskatoon phoning within the next half hour is eligible for 2 prizes. Saskatoon only. The prizes are from the YWCA in Saskatoon, an annual membership to Club 510, value $225. And the second prize, Inland Steel Products Incorporated in Saskatoon, a credit note for any steel products, example wire mesh for driveways, rebar, etc., to a value of $200. And those are for Saskatoon only. Saskatoon people phoning in with the next half hour will be eligible for those 2 prizes. Okay, let's go to Roger.
Thank you, John. Well, this is the, I guess, the nerve center where it's all happening, but it isn't happening at the moment. The phones are quiet. Can I have your name, ma'am?
Alfred Egan.
Have you had some calls here?
A few, not very many.
What are they mainly saying? Are they just placing their orders and then
Placing their orders.
Yeah.
A few asking what it's all about.
All right. Okay, we've got a couple ringing. Have your name, sir?
Daryl Hollick, Melville.
You've had a couple of calls, have you?
Yeah, we've had a few. Yeah, we're hoping things will pick up.
People enthusiastic, they seem to be?
Yeah, for this time in the morning, things are looking pretty good.
Okay. You've had one just a moment ago, I think, didn't you?
No, missed me.
Missed you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as you say, we got about half a dozen phones here, and they could use a lot more action at 347-1987, 525-1313. John?
Dale Isaac with me right now, and Dale, I just can't get over the caliber of people that have come back from across Canada to help with this telethon. Ticketathon, I should say. Johnny Esaw, Dick Irvin, John Badham. Just unbelievable.
Anybody who's ever worked in Saskatchewan never forgets that experience, and they always have some deep roots here, and they would jump at the opportunity to come back, which is the amazing thing that they organized this in such a short period of time, basically less than a month to get this thing rolling, and all those people committed to coming back this particular weekend, and I'm sure a lot of them, really didn't have a time to think about it. They just said, yeah, we'll be there because they felt so strongly about it. And there's one thing I want to remind everybody about. Of course, there's a pancake breakfast coming up here, and if you're an early riser on a Sunday morning, a little bit after 5, we've got a pancake breakfast at 8 o'clock, and we want as many people as possible to come down and have a breakfast, and then wander over to Taylor Field and join us here for the last 7 hours of the telethon.
All right, we've sold 33,000 single-game voucher tickets, the equivalent of that. We have a long ways to go, but I think momentum should really start to take hold of this thing right away.
I would think it's going to. This kind of a telethon, Tickethon, whatever you want to call it, it always is into the last few hours, and it really picks up, and we're expecting that to happen here again in this particular Tickethon 87. The Roughriders dearly need your support. They're a valuable asset to this province, and we don't want to see them suffer any longer financially. And if we can get those phones ringing again at 347-1987, 525-1313. Most of those phones are in use again, John, so it's a good sign. We've got some people wide awake out there, and still a lot of enthusiasm as we gear into the last few hours here.
Well, we'll be here till noon on Sunday. And if you want to get your tickets now, book early, because we expect a real big rush around here the last 3 or 4 hours of this ticketathon. So make sure you call now. The numbers again, 347-1987, 525-1313, and you can use Visa and MasterCharge on that number. And Dale, it's just so important that the people rally around this football club right now to give Bill Baker a vote of confidence.
Well, you buy one ticket, that's like one vote yes. You want pro football to continue in the province of Saskatchewan. And so far, 32,000 single-game tickets have been sold. We want to bump that all the way up to somewhere around 100,000 before we sign off at noon today. And I think we're going to get a pretty good shot at it, John. I think the next few hours are really going to tell the tale about the future of the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
We need 23,000 fans per game to make this team viable. And that's the goal we must attain. That's the minimum. I'd like to see us sell about 127,000 single-game vouchers. That would mean a total sellout of Taylor Field for each game. And wouldn't that be fantastic?
Put a sold-out sign on it and say, see you in 88. We wouldn't have to worry about anything else for the rest of this season.
Okay, now let's go back to the movie The Longest Yard with Burt Reynolds, Eddie Albert, and Joe Cap.